Chapter 20, Pennsylvania Hearing, November 29th, 2010. Thorbjorn has been doing really well with his speech. He used to say,
Pets.
for Wonder Pets,
Oohs.
for Blue's Clues,
Ume.
for Umizoomi,
Is.
for Fishies,
Au.
for I Love You, and
Num-nums.
for food. But today we were looking for his scissors, and he said,
They're underneath the paper.
as we lifted the construction paper off the desk. I just looked at him stunned. And the other day, I gave him little toy animals as a reward for going pee-pee in the potty, and he says to me,
Oh, a turtle and a starfish.
wow, that's great. He made me laugh, too, when we got in the car. He said,
Mama, rock and roll.
I thought that meant he wanted me to put music on, but then I realized, no, it's because whenever we get in the car, I say, let's rock and roll before we drive off. Yesterday, November 9th, was picture day for Thorbjorn. We'd gotten hand-me-downs from Teresa, so Thorbjorn wore this cute sweater for his picture. Today I had such a challenging morning with Bjorn. He refused to go in the potty chair. All morning he had been without a pull-up. I'd put him on the potty a bunch of times with no luck. Right before the bus came, I put him in a pull-up and his pants and shoes on, and he finally goes, like everything comes out. But the bus was there, and I didn't have time to change him. I literally put him on the school bus with a full diaper. It was horrible. I was there with swollen eyes from crying. The combination of lack of sleep with Thadeaus and then dealing with Thorbjorn's stubbornness. Dina, the bus driver, sees me walk Bjorn to the bus in my bathrobe with no makeup on and swollen eyes. I look like a hot mess. I just can't control everything. I can't. Bjorn obviously knows how to use the potty chair. It's just about whether he wants to or not. He is so stubborn. That evening, Dad came over with the boys so I could go grocery shopping. I went to Applebee's instead and ordered fish and chips and an appletini. Friends have been telling me how thin I've gotten, so I felt like it was okay to splurge on fatty foods and alcohol. I understand I can't afford to get sick and very much appreciate that my body is healthy and as strong as it is. Part of me thinks about dating again, but I think it would be weird while I'm still nursing. I also know it is super important for me to continue working on myself and healing myself as best I can before I consider even getting back out there. Friday, November 12th. Dad drove as we traveled down to Bowie, Maryland. Dad makes me laugh. When Tinman is in his adult self and is acting appropriately, Dad said,
looks like Tinman took his meds today.
I'm grateful that 10 minutes with Thadeaus is all that Tinman requires, and my dad is there standing guard as our protector. I'm grateful every day that I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful that I'm able to raise the children virtually without Tinman, without his toxic personality, without his vindictiveness in the same house. It's amazing. God has blessed us with two precious children. And now I'm thankful Tinman let us go so easily. I know Tinman will never say to me,
Destiny, you're doing such a great job raising our boys. I'm so sorry for hurting you.
but that's the man I married. I shake my head, but he's my old life. My new life continues to unfold. November 15th, 2010. Thadeaus is in the jumping swing. He is happy and energetically jumping. Bjorn is watching Little Bear and running around without pants. Thadeaus is being entertained by Bjorn being silly, playing with his pink blanket and hiding. Every time I say to him, jump, 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 he giggles and starts hopping. Thadeaus just had his first solid foods, rice cereal. My mom gave it to him and he gobbled it right up. Thursday, November 18th. I went to Bjorn's school for harvest snack, their Thanksgiving celebration. The students made apple pie and placemats. Bjorn, the non-eater, wanted to play instead, and when it was time to leave, he threw the biggest tantrum. It was really embarrassing. I had to carry him out of the room screaming while pushing the stroller. Luckily, Thadeaus just remained calm and peaceful. Bjorn didn't want to go in my car. He kept saying,
Mama, school bus! School bus, Mama!
he did like riding the school bus and he thrives on routine. Maybe the strong need for routine came from all the changes. Tonight we went to Granby and Pop-Ups for dinner. Dad came too, so there we were, 4 generations. Bjorn sat at the adult table, and Thadeaus jumped in the jolly jumper in the doorway next to us.
Bjorn is so pleasant and such a big boy sitting at the table,
Granby said. I was relieved, especially with how he had acted earlier. Granby gave me the leftovers to take home, and she slipped a $20 bill in my pocket as I left. November 29th. Tinman and I had court in Pennsylvania over Thadeaus. Tinman was fighting to get full custody of both the children, but with Virginia still gripping tight the jurisdiction over Thorbjorn, this court hearing was only about the baby. Tinman was not present, but called in. Master Lombardi, the same master who had awarded me the generous $55 a month in child support for 2 children, oversaw the hearing. I was not thrilled.
Let's start with the defendant. Mr. Tinman, please explain your position on why you believe that you should have full custody of Thadeaus.
Master Lombardi encouraged. Tinman cleared his throat.
As the father, both my children need to be with me full time. Thadeaus needs his father. He needs a strong man in his life.
I grunted.
Someone to teach him how to throw a football or play baseball. I have a nice baseball bat and ball here. I can teach him how to throw and hit accurately. I can teach him how to ride a bicycle. We can go camping together, and I can take him fishing. And most importantly, I can teach him how to shoot.
What? I was thinking. Thaddeus is 6 months old. I looked at the phone inquisitively. That was his explanation?
And Miss Ringgold, why do you believe that Thadeaus should remain with you full time?
Thaddeus is a baby. He's almost 7 months old. He's still nursing. I intend to nurse him for 18 months like I did Thorbjorn. Thaddeus is not yet sleeping through the night. His appetite is ravenous. We just recently started him on rice cereal, but he's still nursing around the clock. The bond between mother and baby is most crucial the first year, so I pray that he stays with me at least the first year. He does not know his father, and I don't feel it would be in his best interest to be forced to go with a stranger, to a home he has never been before. The boys are thriving, I pointed out. I want to continue to give the children as much stability and routine in their lives as possible. One, because Thaddeus is only a baby, but Thorbjorn too thrives on routine. Bjorn has been improving since he started Head Start and began the services through the Chester County Intermediate Unit. His speech and eating habits have improved. Thaddeus and Thorbjorn adore each other, and of course I want to keep the boys together as much as possible.
Okay, thank you. Let's take a 10-minute break and we'll reconvene with my decision.
My attorney Don and I walked out into the hallway and down the hall to a bench.
It should be very obvious to Master Lombardi that Tinman clearly has no idea what is involved in taking care of a baby. He did not mention owning a crib or buying formula, or his willingness to get up in the middle of the night, or his willingness to learn how to change a diaper.
My attorney said, making some very good points. Well, that's because he doesn't plan to do any of that by himself. That is what Scarecrow, his girlfriend, is for.
Well, the master is not bringing that into the equation. This is solely about the rights of a father and mother, not the father's girlfriend. We should be receiving a fair decision.
That's my hope. We walked back to the courtroom and Master Lombardi walked in.
My decision is to piggyback on your temporary Virginia order. It is my understanding both parties meet every other week in Bowie, Maryland, so Bjorn spends time in Virginia. The defendant will be given 2 hours of supervised visitation in front of the plaintiff, the mother, during each meeting on Friday and again on Sunday. Are there any questions?
No, sir.
Tinman said through the phone. No, I said, so relieved. I'm very grateful, thank you, I said, choking up. I sighed deeply. Master Lombardi was certainly not giving custody of Thadeaus to Tinman, nor was he giving him the right to take Thadeaus to Virginia. He was giving us the comfort of supervised visitations, which we hadn't even requested. As Dawn and I exited the court, Dawn turned to me.
Clearly, Lombardi doesn't even trust Tinman to have Thadeaus by himself. This is a win destiny. Tinman's stripes are starting to reveal themselves.
I was astounded and so very grateful. My prayers had been answered, and it came from the master who had originally awarded me only $55 a month in child support. It was so unexpected, and that master had protected Thadeaus, and I knew I would be forever indebted to him.